Hey, Blockchain Bernie here, broadcasting live from sunny California. So glad that you're all here. We're talking about a whole new wave of DApps. So you might be wondering, what are DApps? Well, DApps are distributed apps or decentralized apps. So it's basically apps that are running on a decentralized blockchain rather than on a centralized server where you're subject to censorship and just centralized control. So with the whole trend of blockchain, everything's going decentralized, censorship resistant, owned by the people. So a lot of dApps are being built right now and are already there. So we already have a lot of dApps in, for example, DeFi, decentralized finance. And you might have heard of Uniswap, which was kind of the grandfather of all the dApps where you can swap tokens. And, all these apps are out there, but until now, they are relatively dumb for one simple reason that you might not know. And the simple reason is with current blockchains, smart contract blockchains, that you need to build those dApps, there is very limited possibility for data storage, right? So on these blockchains, you can only store tiny amounts of data economically, because if you would store like gigabytes and gigabytes of data with these smart contract chains, each and every validator would have to store that data. And there's thousands of validators, thousands of nodes in Ethereum, in Solana, in Avalanche, in all those smart contract chains. And they would store all that data, like maps or like documents or photos or stuff like that. They would store that all on chain, which works for, small to modest amounts of data, but it doesn't work for real data that we have in pictures and movies and documents, scanned documents and all that kind of stuff. So the new wave that's coming is smarter dApps that can finally have the whole spectrum of smartness that we know from real centralized servers, right? Every normal server has access to files. If you write an app that runs on a regular Web 2 server, it can open file and it can write to a file, read from a file, close it again, delete it, overwrite it, and all these kind of things. And on smart contracts, on Web 3, you cannot do it as of now, but it's coming. The storage layer for smart contracts is in the works. And for example, so my company, Bitoku, is working on that, a storage layer for smart contracts, and see more info down in the description. So with that layer, for example, think about DeFi, right? Decentralized finance. It's sometimes called self-driving banks. And I love that metaphor because it tells you that those banks are not run by people that make decisions and they can, be biased and everything. They can censor you if they don't like you. But with a self-driving bank, it's all in the code, right? And the people own that self-driving bank and they make decisions on what the algorithms are, and they are the same for everyone. And then it's a self-driving bank. But how would that self-driving bank work without a storage layer? You need to upload documents, right? You need to upload your credit reports or whatever there is, right? So that's the reason those DeFi apps today are quite dumb. They cannot do much. But those new dApps that are coming that are storage enabled, man, they will be a whole different category. And, one example was DeFi. The other example will be Web3. So if you think like a decentralized Airbnb, right? A rewrite of Airbnb built on top of the blockchain on smart contracts, then that could be done today. But, Airbnb needs all that storage. You upload the photos of your place that you want to rent out. And then those photos can be updated. They can be deleted if you stuff like that. It's not about archival, Our data archival is a whole different thing. So we have Arweave and stuff for these things. But, you know, I'm talking about random access storage, right? It could even be a decentralized Dropbox. So you just have your files and you can, you know, make changes all the time. But everything would be stored on peer-to-peer nodes, on volunteers that make up the whole blockchain. And you know, nobody can censor you or anything like that, right? So this whole new wave of dApps is coming. One example is a nice app that's in the work. It's called Hive Mapper. It's going to be a decentralized version of Google Maps. So they also sell those dash cams, and then everyone's taking their photos on the roads, and then all those photos will be owned by the blockchain and by the people and by you, basically, owning tokens of that blockchain, right? It won't be like a centralized instance like Google, for example. So this whole new wave of dApps is definitely coming, and I keep saying the whole infrastructure, the whole IT infrastructure of the world is being rebuilt from Web 2 into Web 3. And what we need for Web 3 is a storage layer that is also just as decentralized as the actual smart contract blockchain is. And then, you know, some people tell me like, hey, Bernie, we don't really need that because I can store my stuff on IPFS. Yeah, IPFS is a nice thing, but it's not a blockchain and it doesn't have the blockchain guarantees. For example, on IPFS, there is no consensus on existence of a file, right? So if you have a file, it's served by some of the peers, that's nice, and it cannot be tampered with, but you have no consensus on existence. So if, you know, you try 5 guys and they don't serve that file, you never know, does it exist or does it not exist, right? That won't work for like, think like that Web3 version of Airbnb or so, right? We need to know, you know, is that picture there? Does it exist or not, right? So yeah, so that's why we're building Bitoku. We're super excited about that, and you know, it's gonna have that whole new wave of dApps. And check out bitoku.io. All the links down in the description, and join our Discord, because on our Discord we have separate channels for app ideas, right? So apps that will be possible with that storage layer that are not possible today. And people have already put in so many ideas of very cool apps, and I mentioned a few in this video, but there's more in our Discord, so remember to join our Discord and discuss with the folks. And also leave your comment right down here in the comment section of this video. Please give it a thumbs up. It will help us really. Thanks in advance, and catch you next time. Bye.